Consultation with infectious disease and public health experts, and given the issues that can be associated with close contact in pre- and post-game settings, all team locker rooms and clubhouses will be open only to players and essential employees of teams and team facilities until further notice. Media access will be maintained in designated locations outside of the locker room and clubhouse setting. This is the first time I have ever seen a joint statement with all of the professional teams, the NBA, MLB, Major League Soccer, and National Hockey League. Moments ago, head coach of the Denver Nuggets, Michael Malone, had this to say when asked about it.
Yeah, the league in regards to the virus, and have you had that meeting with your team doctor?
I've not heard anything from the league. I guess Nick just told me they just released a memo. I mean, no disrespect, but that's the last thing I'm worried about. I guess starting tomorrow, there'll be new protocols in place. No media will be in the locker rooms. We'll be meeting in a room instead of the hallway. Whatever they think is in the best interest of everybody's health and well-being, we're all for. But literally, that just came out. My focus is on the 35 points we're giving up every night on turnovers and rebounds. And I know Steve Short, who's in charge of our sports science unit, they have some kind of fancy name, I'm not sure what it is, but he's in charge of that group. He's arranging for one of our docs to address our team and just kind of go over the new protocols, the virus itself, and answer any questions that our players may have. So that should happen within the next 24 to 48 hours.
Okay, so this obviously is a fluid situation. Everyone is responding and reacting the way they see most fit. What are your thoughts as you see the NBA releasing this statement and changing protocol?
No, I think it's fantastic. I think it's fantastic, Sam. I mean, yes, the media has to do their job, but you get a chance to do it in not that close area with so many people around. And you got to take caution. I think that's the word is. Everybody has to be cautious and also just obviously have common sense and understand.
Yes, that's the key word.
This is best for all, not just the players.
It's common sense. And the NBA and all professional sports league, the first thing is to protect the fans, protect the people who cover the game, protect the players. You want to look out for everyone and put everyone in the best possible situation as possible. So I commend all the sports league in doing this. And again, and this is just the first step. Hopefully, this is enough, but be prepared to take even more extreme measures if we have to.
Right, exactly. So you heard head coach Michael Malone talking about his defense. He said that's what he's worried about. Typical coach.
Oh, yeah.
One-track mind. Just to put it in perspective, before the All-Star break, the Denver Nuggets were top 10 with their team defense. The 8 games since the All-Star break, they're 25th. There are only 30 teams. Hard to win a championship when your defense is not.
Landslide.
Right. It's not functioning well. How do they fix it?
You got to get back to the basics. One thing I've learned in anything in life that I do, Smitty, whenever I'm struggling, when I struggle with my shot, I went back to the basics. Anything my team is struggling with, you go back to the basics and you start teaching it from the beginning. Hey, this is what we do. And you go back over all your principles and you remind your players what it is that they're responsible for, their job, and how to do their job.
Let me ask you, Sam, and obviously because you've coached and I've been around, but I'm looking at this Denver Nuggets team. Who is the defensive leader on this team? And your 2 best players, if they're not the guys that's heading your defense, how can you, Sam, get this team on schedule to be one of the top defensive teams if your 2 guys are not one of those guys that your leaders, your best players?
Well, Smitty, that's a great question because I don't know. When you watch this Denver team, you ask me who could go in the game and get a stop from a wing
like
position.
Who can go get a bucket?
Smitty, I can tell you who can get a basket, but I couldn't tell you who could get a stop because they haven't developed that guy. And the one thing about young players, they all think they make their name in the NBA by scoring, all right? That's how they're going to make their name. And they forget about the other end of the court. And right now, that's what's killing this Denver team because they have that offensive talent, but they don't have those same guys that are locked in and committed to playing defense. And until they understand the same traits that make you a great offensive player, make you a great defensive player, is only when you switch your mind to that area, they're never going to win anything big. And the sad thing about it, they're kind of backsliding from what they did last year. They finished second in the Western Conference. And I know the conference has gotten better, but they're starting to slide right now to where we don't even consider them a real threat in the Western Conference.
And I think Jokic has to get better. He will never, I don't think he'll be your best defensive player on your team, but he has to get better because teams are attacking him so much and it's breaking down their defense Sam, and
Didn't
that's
Marcus
hard.
All, wasn't he Defensive Player of the Year?
Marcus All?
Yes.
Yes.
Was he a great athlete?
No.
Was he a rim protector, blocking shots? But he's learned how to wall up,
Right.
use his body, learn how to make guys go east and west and pick and roll and not let them get down here. So it's been done by a guy with that skill set. He's just got to take more of a incentive in getting better at it.
And pride.
Yep.
Well, Jokic has been struggling on the offensive end,
Yes,
which is
he
something
has.
that you cannot have happen if you're struggling defensively. Here's a look at his last 3 games. You look at his points, it was 8, 14, and 16. He averages 20 and 10. So what does he have to do to get back?
You know, old school coaches say, hey, if you only play one end and you're not doing that end, I don't need you.
That's what the old,
That's old
not in
school
today's
say.
NBA.
I think for him is because he's so good, he has to find a way. And we all go through our periods where you're struggling. But I think for him is, I don't think he's in shape enough, Sam. He's not he's still not in shape to be able to every night in, night out dominate an area of the game, because as the season gets on, he has these valleys, Sam, where they become a long way, and then he picks it back up. They need him to be a little bit more consistent.
You think about most All-Stars, when they have a bad game, they may go from 28 to 18 or 19.
Right.
They don't go from 28 to 6.
No.
Right.
That's unexcusable.
digits, right.
Look, when the offense is run through you, like it's run through him a lot, it's impossible for you to score in single digits in the NBA game. It's just impossible with the amount of touches and the space on the floor. So to Smitty's point, he's got to lock in and get better in all phases of the game. And then he's got to take more pride